It is roughly 3,800 years ago in Babylon, and your partner has started coming home late, wearing suspiciously nice perfume, and guarding a clay tablet like it contains state secrets. There are no text messages to check, no location history, and no friend sending you a blurry screenshot at 2 in the morning. But jealousy already exists, gossip travels fast, and marriage controls property, children, and survival. So how did ancient humans know their partner was cheating? Usually, they did not solve the mystery like detectives. They noticed repeated visits, secret meetings, strange sleeping arrangements, or a sudden explosion of neighborhood gossip. Then they needed witnesses, a confession, or a legal system willing to turn suspicion into truth. Babylon was basically the ancient world's neighborhood watch, except the neighborhood had gods, judges, and a river that occasionally served as a lie detector. The Code of Hammurabi, compiled around 1754 BCE and preserved on a stone stele later excavated at Susa, draws a sharp line between suspicion and being caught. Law 129 says that if a married woman was caught lying with another man, both could be bound and thrown into the water, although her husband could spare her. That means detection depended heavily on timing. Someone had to walk in, see enough, and probably make sure other people saw it too. Awkward. Very awkward. If a husband merely accused his wife without catching her, Law 131 allowed her to swear an oath before the gods and return home. But if the whole community was pointing fingers, Law 132 could send her to the river ordeal. Could gossip really end with someone being thrown into a river? Yes. Yes, it could. Hammurabi, history's most intense homeowners association president, did not offer fingerprints or private investigators. He offered witnesses, oaths, and divine water. In Babylon, an affair became believable when secrecy failed in public. Rome took that same anxiety and added deadlines, prosecutors, and enough paperwork to make betrayal feel like a tax audit. In 18 BC, Emperor Augustus introduced the Lex Julia on adultery, turning certain affairs into a public crime. Augustus was the ancient version of a politician who lectures everyone about family values, while his own family dinner is one argument away from collapse. Romans often discovered affairs through the obvious weaknesses of secret relationships. Servants noticed who entered a bedroom. Neighbors saw repeated visits. Relatives recognized suspicious routines. And sometimes, a husband simply returned home at the worst possible moment. Roman jurists later described a husband detaining a man caught in adultery for up to 20 hours while witnesses were summoned. Imagine being caught, locked in a room, and waiting while someone runs through Rome collecting an audience. No pressure. The important part was not just what happened, but who could testify. A private suspicion was messy. A room full of witnesses was a case. Convicted partners could lose property and be exiled to separate islands, because Rome apparently believed every breakup needed geography. The system was also deeply unequal. It focused mainly on married women, while men had far more freedom depending on the status of the other person. Rome did not invent better trust. It invented better documentation. Medieval England had fewer marble courtrooms and more people who knew exactly when you left the house. Between roughly 1193 and 1300, English church courts increasingly moved away from simply clearing yourself with oath supporters and toward witness testimony. In practice, that made daily life itself part of the evidence. Most people did not live in private apartments with soundproof walls. Wealthy households had servants. Villages shared roads, wells, churches, and gossip. A secret lover visiting repeatedly was not invisible. They were a recurring local event. By January 1332, Archbishop Simon Mepham was accusing the noblewoman Ayla Fitzpaine of relationships with several men, including the priest John Ford, and ordering years of public penance. The surviving record does not tell us exactly who first exposed her, so there was no confirmed medieval detective hiding behind a curtain. But the case shows how affairs became known. Accusation, reputation, named partners, investigation, and people willing to speak. In a small community, one strange visit could be ignored. 5 strange visits became a story. 10 became testimony. Medieval England's surveillance system was simple. Walls were thin, privacy was rare, and somebody's aunt was always watching. Here's the modern contrast. Reliable DNA fingerprinting was only developed by Alec Jeffreys at the University of Leicester in 1984. Humanity spent thousands of years trusting witnesses, rumors, oaths, and extremely inconvenient timing before science could settle certain questions in a laboratory. Zoom out, and ancient people recognized cheating in ways that still feel familiar. They watched changes in routine, noticed secret meetings, listened to gossip, confronted partners, and searched for someone who had seen more than they had. The real difference was what happened after suspicion appeared. Babylon handed uncertainty to gods and rivers. Rome handed it to witnesses and prosecutors. Medieval England handed it to neighbors and church courts. Their methods reveal something uncomfortable. People have always wanted certainty in love, but societies often punish the accused long before certainty truly existed. Betrayal is ancient. So is jumping to conclusions. So the next time someone protects their phone like a Roman military document, remember, at least your argument probably will not end with exile, public penance, or a river.